Hello, my name is Herbert Guillermo Jr. from N-2A5, and in this video I'm going to discuss about the starting from rest when going ahead. So without further ado, let's begin. The transverse thrust effect will tend to swing the stern to starboard and the bow to port. The engines working ahead cause the propeller to drive a spiral flow of water towards the rudder, so the helm can be used to counteract the effect of transverse thrust. The water in the propeller blade not just act longitudinal direction but also outward shift. Transverse thrust is caused by interaction between the hull, propeller, and rudder. The effect of transverse thrust is a slightly tendency for the bow to swing to port on a ship with the right-handed propeller turning ahead. Transverse thrust is more pronounced when propellers are moving astern. So that's all. Thank you.
Good morning, ma'am. I am Kadeta Yudong Ryan from section S205, and I will discuss moving at steady speed ahead. Rudder angle and propeller evolution properly applied till maintain desired heading and counter the transverse thrust effect ROT maintained at zero. Transverse thrust is a tendency for a forward astern running propeller to move the stern to starboard or port. Transverse thrust is caused by interaction between the hull, propeller, and the rudder. The bow of each vessel now comes under the influence of other vessel stern, which also means the rudder of each vessel is being affected. The positive pressure of the other vessel bow is cause each vessel to take a share towards the another vessel and if in a narrow channel or far away. For a stern to be cast forward, boundaries of the channel of the fairway. The ship handler should be aware of the variable effect transverse thrust. As water flow over a ship, hull change the transverse thrust. The difference is most noticeable in shallow water. For example, a ship that turns in starboard side deep water may well to the port in shallow water. Also, the magnitude of the force will change, and by implication there will be a range of water deep for which the bias may be difficult to predict, something that is especially true when a ship is stopping in the water, reducing deep. The head can discard from the propeller creates a larger pressure of the port side of the rudder. A slight upward flow from the hull into the propeller or puts slightly more pressure into down sweeping propeller blades. If was debated during test, the test speeds or flow of water into a propeller area is uneven in velocity. The net result is tendency for a right-handed propeller to give a small spin to port when running ahead, which this may be noticeable in calm and near perfect conditions. It's easily influenced by another likely factors such as wind, current, shallow water, tugs, rudder errors, and so on.
There are no wheels in this case, given the fact that a ship propels it in water by a propeller that is located at its astern. Now, when propeller rotates, it generates its thrust, which propels ship in forward direction. The most wilting note here is hull. The hull is the ship most a fluid medium and hence it's not possible to instantly bring a ship to a stop, given the shearing tendency of water medium. When a ship moves in water, there is a viscous drag generated between the submerged hull surface and the water particles in contact with the hull. This drag is directly proportional to the wetted surface of the water and varies the square of velocity of the ship. What we want to do is stop a ship to decrease the magnitude or change the direction of thrust the ship, or sometimes both one water the other. If the thrust on the ship is reduced in magnitude, which is achieved by decreasing the RPM of the propeller, the then the resistance of the ship strenuously exceeds the magnitude of thrust, terribly slowing the ship. This effect can be attained rapidly by changing the direction of thrust, that is, by changing direction of rotation of the propeller.
Good day, I'm Serbo Raymond from NS2A5. So today I will discuss the starting from rest when going astern. The transverse thrust effect of the propeller and the effect of the propeller slipstream on the hull causes the stern to swing to port. The helm cannot be used effectively to counteract the swing as there is no flow of water against the rudder from propeller or from the movement of the ship. So this is the transverse thrust.
You're on my mind, you know.
Holy moly, moly, moly.
I will discuss the moving at steady speed astern, able to maintain the desired heading and counter the transfer thrust effect by propeller application of rudder angle and propeller revolution. Sa transfer thrust is the tendency for a forward or a stern running propeller to move the stern to starboard or port. Transverse thrust is caused by interaction between the hull, propeller, and rudder. The effect of transverse thrust is a slight tendency for the bow to swing to port on a ship with a right-handed propeller. Turning ahead, transverse thrust is more pronounced when propellers are moving astern. When moving astern, transverse thrust is caused by water passing through the astern moving propeller and creating high pressure on the starboard quarter of the hull, which produces a force that pushes the ship astern to port. Rudder angle can influence the magnitude of this force. Master shall be aware of the variable effect of transverse thrust as water flow over a ship hull change, so does transverse thrust. The difference is most noticeable in shallow water. For example, a ship that turn to starboard in deep water may will turn to port in shallow water. Also, the magnitude of the force will change, and by implication there will be a range of water depth for which the bias may be difficult to predict something. That is especially true when a ship is stopping in water. Reducing deep transverse thrust is often used to help bring the ship stern alongside. During berthing, when a propeller is put astern on a ship moving forward at speed, that initial effect of transverse thrust is a slight. However, as the ship forward motion decrease, the effect of transverse thrust increase. It is essential for a master to understand just how much effect transverse thrust has on his particular ship. You must hold the transverse thrust to steady speed to astern to maintain the desired heading and counter the transverse